Good day, my friends. I want to talk to you today about something that can change the way you live your life. So many people get caught up in what others are doing, how they're living, what they're achieving. They compare, they compete, and before they know it, they've lost sight of their own path. But I want to remind you today, you weren't created to chase after someone else's destiny. You were created to fulfill your own. It's easy to look around and think, they're more successful than me. They have more opportunities. They're further along. But that's not your concern. Your assignment isn't to run their race. It's to run your own. When you focus on others, you waste valuable time and energy that could be spent becoming the person you were meant to be. Think about this. When you drive a car, you don't stare at the person in the next lane the whole time. If you did, you'd lose control and crash. The same is true in life. If you keep looking at others, you'll miss the doors that are opening for you, the blessings with your name on them. You have to come back to this truth. Your value isn't based on what others are doing. It's based on who you are. God has already equipped you, empowered you, and positioned you for a unique purpose. When you focus on that, when you stop worrying about what everyone else is doing, you'll step into a peace and confidence like never before. So let today be the day you shift your focus. Stop measuring yourself against others. Stop letting comparison steal your joy. Stop wishing you had what they have. Instead, recognize that everything you need to succeed is already within you. You have the talent, the ideas, the wisdom, the favor. Now it's time to walk boldly in your own lane and embrace the incredible future that's waiting for you. Too often, people spend their lives trying to measure up to someone else's achievements, thinking that if they can just reach the same level of success, happiness, or recognition, they will finally feel complete. But the truth is, you were not created to live someone else's story. You have a unique destiny that is tailor-made for you. From the moment you were born, you were designed with a purpose, a calling, and a specific set of gifts that are meant to shine in your own way. Trying to imitate someone else's journey will only lead to frustration because their path was never meant for you. Think about a puzzle. Every piece is shaped differently, but each one has a place where it fits perfectly. Your life is like that puzzle piece. You don't need to force yourself into someone else's space because your place has already been prepared for you. When you start looking at others and wishing you had their life, their career, their relationships, you miss out on the incredible opportunities designed specifically for you. No one else can fulfill your destiny. You have gifts and talents that are unlike anyone else's. And if you keep chasing someone else's dream, you'll never discover the greatness within you. When you compare yourself to others, you're not only doing yourself a disservice, but you're also questioning the plan that has been set for you. You don't have to live in someone else's shadow. You don't have to follow their blueprint. What worked for them may not work for you because your calling is unique. The moment you accept that your journey is different, that your success will unfold in its own time, you will step into a new level of peace and confidence. Imagine if an eagle spent all its time watching a sparrow, trying to flap its wings in the same way, trying to chirp the same tune, trying to fit in with the other small birds. The eagle would never reach the heights it was meant to soar. It wasn't designed to hop from branch to branch. It was made to fly above the storms. The same is true for you. You weren't designed to be like anyone else. You have your own wings, your own strengths, and your own heights to reach. The reason some people never experience the fullness of their potential is that they are too focused on someone else's journey. They see a friend who is thriving in a particular career and think, maybe I should do that too. They see someone who seems to be moving faster and wonder, why am I so far behind? But life is not a race against others. It's a personal journey of growth, faith, and perseverance. Just because someone else reaches success before you does not mean you have failed. Your time is coming, but it will come when you embrace your path, not theirs. Many times, the things that make you different are the very things that will set you apart and bring you success. Your voice, your talents, your ideas, they are valuable because they are uniquely yours. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs the authentic version of you. When you stop trying to fit into someone else's mold and start embracing your own identity, you will unlock doors of opportunity that you never even imagined. This is why it's so important to stay in your own lane. Have you ever watched a race? The runners don't look at the people next to them the entire time. They stay focused on their own track, because the moment they start looking around, they slow down. In the same way, when you focus on your own journey instead of constantly checking what others are doing, you will move forward faster and with greater purpose. Instead of wasting energy on comparison, you will have the strength to step into your own destiny with confidence. No matter where you are in life, no matter how far behind you feel, remember this: you are exactly where you need to be. You are not late, you are not missing out, and you are not less than anyone else. Your journey is unfolding in divine timing, and as long as you stay faithful to your purpose, you will see everything fall into place. One of the biggest traps in life is the habit of constantly comparing yourself to others. It's so easy to look at what someone else has, their success, their talents, their lifestyle, and start feeling like you're falling behind. But the truth is, comparison is a distraction that pulls you away from your own purpose. It shifts your focus from what you are supposed to be doing to what someone else is doing, and in the process, it drains your joy and steals your confidence. When you compare, you will always find someone who seems to be doing better, someone who appears to have more, someone who seems further along. And if you're not careful, you'll start believing the lie that you're not good enough, not talented enough, or not working hard enough. But the reality is, your journey is not supposed to look like theirs. You are on a different path, and your timing is different. The fact that someone else is winning doesn't mean you're losing. Think about a marathon. If a runner spends the entire race looking at the person next to them, they'll lose momentum, slow down, and maybe even trip. The key to finishing strong is keeping your eyes forward, focusing on your own strides. That's exactly how life works. The moment you start looking too much at someone else's progress, you lose sight of your own growth. You waste energy that should be used for your own race. Comparison also blinds you to your own blessings. Have you ever noticed that when you focus on what others have, you stop appreciating what you've been given? You could have amazing opportunities, incredible talents, and a bright future ahead. But if you're too busy wishing you had someone else's life, you'll overlook the beauty of your own. Gratitude and comparison cannot exist in the same space. When you're grateful, you celebrate your own journey. When you compare, you belittle it. Another problem with comparison is that it creates insecurity. Instead of seeing your strengths, you magnify your weaknesses. Instead of feeling capable, you feel inadequate. But here's the truth: you are already equipped with everything you need for your purpose. You don't need their talents, their background, or their connections. What you have is enough. But as long as you're fixated on someone else's gifts, you won't develop your own. Social media makes comparison even harder to avoid. People post their highlights, their best moments, their biggest wins, but they don't show the struggles, the hard work, the sacrifices behind the scenes. If you're not careful, you'll compare your reality to their highlight reel, and you'll start feeling like you're behind. But you're not behind. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. The way to break free from comparison is to shift your focus. Instead of looking at what others have, look at what you have. Instead of dwelling on their progress, focus on making progress in your own life. Instead of feeling envious of their journey, get excited about yours. When you focus on your own growth, you'll be too busy improving yourself to worry about what everyone else is doing. So today, make the decision to stop comparing. Let go of the distractions, release the self-doubt, and step into the confidence that comes from knowing you are running your own race. Your joy doesn't come from being better than someone else. It comes from becoming the best version of yourself. Life is not a competition against other people. It's not about who gets there first, who has more, or who seems to be winning. You were not created to outdo someone else. You were created to fulfill your own unique purpose. Your assignment is to run your race, not chase after someone else's success. Too often, people live with a competitive mindset, constantly measuring themselves against others. They see a friend starting a business and feel like they need to do the same. They see a coworker getting a promotion and suddenly feel like a failure. But the truth is, what's meant for them is meant for them, and what's meant for you is meant for you. Their success does not take away from yours. Imagine a track race where every runner has a designated lane. If a runner starts veering into another lane, they can get disqualified. The same applies to life. If you spend all your time trying to run someone else's race, copying their moves, chasing their goals, you'll miss out on the victory waiting for you in your own lane. You don't need to beat anyone else. You just need to stay focused on your own path. One of the biggest dangers of competing with others is that it leads to frustration. You start feeling like no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. But the reason you feel that way is because you're measuring yourself by the wrong standard. You were never meant to match someone else's journey. You were meant to embrace your own. The moment you realize that, you'll stop feeling pressured to keep up and start feeling empowered to move at your own pace. Not only does competing with others drain your energy, but it also takes your eyes off your real purpose. When you're constantly watching someone else's progress, you're not focusing on what's ahead of you. Instead of working on your own skills, you're too busy analyzing theirs. Instead of celebrating your own small wins, you're obsessed with how far ahead they seem to be. But the truth is, your race has nothing to do with them. Your gifts, your opportunities, and your journey are completely unique to you. The most successful people aren't those who try to be better than others. They're the ones who work on being better than they were yesterday. Your only competition should be the person you were the day before. If you're growing, if you're learning, if you're making progress, then you're winning. It doesn't matter how fast someone else is moving. What matters is that you're still moving forward. It's time to shift your focus. Stop looking to your left and right and start looking straight ahead. Your race is yours alone. It doesn't matter how many people seem to be ahead or behind you. What matters is that you stay faithful to your path. Trust the timing of your journey and keep running toward the purpose that was designed just for you. One of the biggest reasons people feel dissatisfied with their lives is because they're too busy looking at what others have. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, if only I had their talent, their success, their opportunities, I would be happy. But when you focus too much on what someone else has, you stop seeing the incredible blessings in your own life. Imagine you're holding a beautiful gift in your hands, something valuable and unique, but instead of appreciating it, you keep looking at what's in someone else's hands, wishing you had their gift instead. That's exactly what happens when you live in comparison. You ignore what's special about your own life because you're too distracted by someone else's. The truth is, everyone has blessings, but not everyone recognizes them. You might be so focused on the job someone else has that you forget to be grateful for your own. You might envy someone's talent while overlooking your own strengths. You might wish for their lifestyle while missing the beauty of what's already in front of you. The more you look at others, the more you diminish what you've been given. The problem with constantly looking at others is that it leads to a never-ending cycle of discontentment. No matter how much you achieve, there will always be someone who seems to have more. If you keep measuring your happiness by what others have, you'll never feel like you have enough. But when you take your eyes off of them and focus on your own journey, you start to see how much you've already been blessed with. Gratitude is the key to breaking free from this trap. When you stop comparing and start appreciating, everything changes. Instead of feeling like you're behind, you recognize how far you've come. Instead of wishing for someone else's life, you learn to cherish your own. Gratitude shifts your perspective from I need more to I already have so much. Think about a photographer trying to take the perfect picture. If they keep adjusting the focus to capture what's happening in the distance, they'll blur what's right in front of them. That's what happens when you constantly look at others. Your own blessings become out of focus and you miss the beauty of your own life. When you learn to focus on your own journey, you discover that you already have everything you need to be fulfilled. Your path is different for a reason. The things that are meant for you, the opportunities, the relationships, the success will come in their own time. But if you're always looking at what others have, you'll never fully enjoy the blessings that are already yours. So today, make the decision to stop looking around and start looking within. Recognize the gifts you've been given. Celebrate your progress and trust that what's meant for you will come in its own perfect time. In a world that constantly measures success by status, wealth, or popularity, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that your worth is determined by how you compare to others. But the truth is, your value has nothing to do with what someone else has achieved. You are valuable not because of how you rank against others, but because of the unique purpose you were created for. Too often people tie their self-worth to external achievements. They think, if I could just be as successful as them, I would feel important. If I could reach their level, I would feel worthy. But that kind of thinking will always leave you feeling like you're not enough. Why? Because no matter how much you accomplish, there will always be someone who seems to be doing more. If your value is based on comparison, you'll always be chasing validation that never truly satisfies. Your purpose is what makes you valuable, not your position. You weren't created to fit into someone else's mold. You were created to fulfill a specific calling that only you can fulfill. That means even if someone else is more successful in the world's eyes, it doesn't take away from your significance. Your role, your gifts, and your impact are just as important. Think about a symphony orchestra. Each instrument plays a different role, but together they create something beautiful. The violin doesn't try to sound like the trumpet, and the piano doesn't compete with the drums. They each embrace their unique sound, knowing that their individual contribution is necessary for the masterpiece to come together. The same is true for you. You don't need to sound like, look like, or achieve what someone else has. Your purpose is to bring your own unique contribution into the world. One of the biggest mistakes people make is allowing someone else's success to make them feel small. But success isn't a limited resource. Someone else's victory doesn't mean your loss. Just because they're thriving in their calling doesn't mean you're failing in yours. If anything, their success should be proof that there is room for you to win too. When you understand that your value comes from within and not from comparison, you walk with a different confidence. You stop looking for approval from others because you know you're already enough. You stop feeling threatened by other people's success because you know their journey has nothing to do with yours. Instead of competing, you start celebrating both your own progress and the success of those around you. True fulfillment doesn't come from matching someone else's achievements. It comes from fully embracing who you were meant to be. When you stop chasing validation and start living with purpose, that's when you step into real joy, real peace, and real success. Too often people go through life feeling inadequate, thinking they don't have what it takes to achieve their dreams. They see others thriving, stepping into their purpose, and wonder, do I have what it takes? Am I capable enough? Am I strong enough? But here's the truth. You are already equipped with everything you need to succeed. Nothing is missing. Nothing is lacking. You have been divinely designed with the talents, skills, and wisdom necessary to fulfill your purpose. When God created you, He didn't make a mistake. He didn't leave anything out. You were crafted with intention, with every detail perfectly placed for the life you were meant to live. You may not see it yet, but within you there are gifts waiting to be developed, opportunities waiting to be seized, and potential waiting to be unlocked. You don't need to look outside yourself to find value. It's already inside you. Think about an acorn. At first glance, it's just a small seed, but inside that seed is everything necessary to become a mighty oak tree. It doesn't need anything extra. It just needs time to grow. The same is true for you. You may feel small right now, but inside of you is greatness, strength, and purpose. Your success isn't about getting something new. It's about developing what's already in you. One of the biggest lies people believe is that they need to be like someone else in order to succeed. They think if I just had their talent, their background, their resources, then I could make it. But God didn't equip you for someone else's journey. He equipped you for your own. What you have is exactly what you need for the path you're meant to walk. When Moses was called to lead the Israelites, he doubted himself. He told God, I'm not a good speaker. I don't have what it takes. But God reminded him that everything he needed was already within him. God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. If he has placed a dream in your heart, if he has given you a vision for your future, then trust that he has also given you the ability to fulfill it. The enemy wants you to believe that you're not enough, that you're missing something, that you don't measure up. But that's just a distraction. You are already enough. You don't need to wait for someone else's approval. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. Everything you need to start, to grow, to succeed, it's already in you. Stop doubting yourself. Stop waiting for everything to line up perfectly. Step out in faith, knowing that you have been fully equipped for the journey ahead. The more you embrace the gifts within you, the more you will see doors open, opportunities arise, and success unfold. You are not lacking. You are prepared. You are not behind. You are right on time. Everything you need to win is already in you. Now it's time to use it. One of the greatest mistakes you can make in life is spending too much time watching what others are doing instead of working on your own progress. It's easy to get caught up in comparing your journey to someone else's, constantly checking their success, their accomplishments, and their lifestyle. But the truth is, the energy you spend focusing on them is energy you could be using to better yourself. Imagine an athlete running a race. If they keep looking to their left and right, watching the other runners, they'll slow down, they'll lose momentum, and eventually they might trip and fall. The fastest runners don't waste time looking around. They stay focused on their own lane. The same is true for life. The more you focus on others, the more you take away from your own potential. Your progress slows down, not because you lack ability, but because your energy is divided in the wrong direction. Think about all the mental and emotional energy that goes into comparison. You start overanalyzing. Why are they ahead? What do they have that I don't? Why isn't it happening for me? Instead of using that time to sharpen your skills, chase your dreams, or develop new opportunities, you're draining yourself over someone else's path. But their journey has nothing to do with yours. The energy you invest in watching others won't make you better. It will only make you more frustrated. It leads to insecurity, discouragement, and unnecessary pressure. But when you shift that energy back to yourself, when you focus on improving, learning, and growing, you start to see real change. You begin to thrive, not because you're trying to outdo someone else, but because you're becoming the best version of yourself. It's important to realize that you only have a limited amount of time and energy each day. You can either waste it worrying about someone else's success, or you can invest it in your own development. The time you spend scrolling through social media comparing lives is time you could be using to build your own future. The time you spend envying someone else's talent is time you could be using to master your own. Success doesn't come from watching, it comes from doing. If you want to grow, if you want to succeed, if you want to step into the life you were meant for, then you have to stop looking at others and start focusing on yourself. Every minute spent worrying about them is a minute you're not using to get better. Your time is too valuable, your purpose is too important, and your potential is too great to waste on distractions. Instead of comparing, start improving. Instead of wishing you had their life, start building your own. The moment you turn your focus back to yourself, your growth accelerates, your confidence increases, and your success follows. Your best life isn't found in watching others. It's found in working on yourself. In a world filled with constant comparisons and distractions, it's easy to feel restless and uncertain. You see others excelling, moving forward, achieving their goals, and you start questioning your own progress. But real peace and confidence don't come from measuring yourself against others. They come from staying focused on your own journey. When you're always looking at someone else's life, it creates anxiety. You start feeling like you're behind, like you're missing something, like you need a rush to catch up. But the truth is, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Your path, your timing, and your growth are uniquely designed for you. The more you focus on that, the more peace you will feel. Think about a mountain climber. If they keep stopping to look at what others are doing, who's ahead, who has better gear, who's moving faster, they'll become frustrated and lose confidence. But when they focus on their own climb, step by step, they find their rhythm. They stop worrying about how far others have come and start appreciating their own progress. That's where confidence is built, not in comparison, but in trusting your own process. One of the biggest reasons people lack confidence is because they're trying to live someone else's story. They chase after things that were never meant for them, trying to prove themselves to people who don't even matter. But when you stop trying to impress others and start focusing on what truly fulfills you, you step into a place of peace. You no longer feel the pressure to perform. You simply live with purpose. Peace comes when you embrace the fact that your journey is different for a reason. You weren't meant to have the same experiences, challenges, or breakthroughs as someone else. You have your own lessons to learn, your own battles to fight, and your own victories to celebrate. When you accept that, you stop feeling like you're in competition with the world and start feeling secure in who you are. Confidence isn't about being better than others. It's about being sure of yourself. And that certainty only comes when you stop chasing someone else's version of success and focus on your own. You gain confidence when you commit to your own path, develop your own skills, and trust that what's meant for you will come in its own time. When you focus on your journey, you also begin to appreciate your own blessings more. Instead of constantly thinking about what you lack, you start seeing how much you already have. Gratitude replaces insecurity, and peace replaces pressure. You stop feeling like you need to prove yourself and start realizing that you are already enough. So let go of the need to compare, to compete, to rush. Your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. The more you focus on your own path, the more peace you'll feel. The more you trust your own process, the more confidence you'll gain. And the moment you stop looking around and start looking within, you'll realize you were never behind, never lacking, never unworthy. You were always right where you were meant to be. It's easy to look at someone else's life and think, if I had what they had, I'd be happier. If I had their talent, their opportunities, their success, then I'd be fulfilled. But the truth is, you don't need what they have because your blessings are uniquely designed for you. Too often, people spend their energy wishing for someone else's life while ignoring the gifts that are already in their own. They focus on what they don't have rather than appreciating what they do. But what's meant for them is meant for them, and what's meant for you is meant for you. When you stop longing for someone else's blessings and start recognizing your own, everything changes. Think about this. If you planted an apple seed and kept wishing it would grow into an orange tree, you'd miss out on the incredible fruit that was meant to come from it. That's what happens when you keep longing for someone else's gifts instead of embracing your own. You weren't created to be them. You were created to be you, to flourish in your own way, at your own pace, with the unique abilities and purpose that have been placed within you. Comparison blinds you to your own potential. The more you focus on what others have, the less you see what's special about you. You have talents, strengths, and opportunities that no one else has in the exact same way. Your journey is different because it was designed for you. Instead of wishing for someone else's path, start discovering the beauty in your own. What if instead of saying, I wish I had their life, you started saying, I'm grateful for the life I've been given? What if instead of envying their success, you started working on your own growth? The moment you stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward with gratitude, you'll find fulfillment right where you are. The truth is, you don't know the full story behind someone else's blessings. You see their highlight reel, but you don't see their struggles, sacrifices, or challenges. If you knew what it took for them to get there, you might not even want their journey. That's why it's so important to trust that your own path, your own blessings, and your own timing are right for you. Instead of focusing on what you lack, focus on what you have. Instead of wishing for what's not yours, start developing what is yours. Your blessings are not less valuable just because they look different from someone else's. They were tailor-made for you. And when you embrace them, you'll find more joy, peace, and success than you ever could by chasing someone else's dream. So today, make the choice to appreciate your own life. Stop looking at others with envy and start looking at yourself with gratitude. Your blessings are not small. They are not insignificant. They are perfectly designed for the incredible purpose that only you can fulfill. Too many people hesitate in life because they're too busy watching what others are doing. They compare, they doubt, they second guess themselves, wondering if they're on the right path. But the truth is, you weren't created to walk in someone else's lane. You were created to thrive in your own. The moment you stop looking around and start moving forward with confidence, everything changes. Your lane is yours for a reason. It was designed specifically for you with all the experiences, challenges, and victories meant to shape you into the person you're supposed to become. You don't need to copy someone else's journey to be successful. What's ahead of you is greater than anything you've left behind. But you'll never reach it if you keep stepping out of your lane to see what others are doing. Think about a race. Athletes don't waste time checking the competition. They know that looking around slows them down. Winners keep their eyes forward. They run with focus, determination, and confidence. The same applies to life. The more you focus on your own growth, your own calling, and your own goals, the faster you'll step into the blessings waiting for you. Doubt will try to creep in. Fear will whisper, what if you're not good enough? What if you don't have what it takes? But let me remind you, you are equipped, you are capable, and you are more than enough. You wouldn't have the dream in your heart if you weren't meant to fulfill it. You're not lacking, you are prepared. You're not forgotten, you are right on time. Walking boldly means trusting that what's ahead is greater than what you're leaving behind. It means believing that favor is already working in your future, opening doors, aligning opportunities, and making a way where there seems to be no way. You may not see it yet, but something incredible is already being prepared for you. Your job is to keep moving forward, to stay in your lane, and to walk with confidence, knowing that you are on the right path. If you constantly compare, you'll always feel like you're not enough. But when you focus on your own lane, you begin to see the power of your unique journey. What's meant for you will not pass you by. The opportunities, the breakthroughs, the blessings, they are already lined up, waiting for you to step into them. So stop hesitating. Stop questioning whether you're qualified. Stop thinking that someone else is more deserving. Your future is already blessed. Your destiny is already set in motion. Walk like you believe it. Move like you trust it. You don't have to fight for favor. Favor is already on your side. Today, make the choice to walk boldly. Stay focused, stay faithful, and trust that your future is filled with more goodness, success, and favor than you can even imagine. What's coming is greater than what's been. Keep walking, it's already yours. My friend, life is too short to waste time comparing, doubting, and wishing you had someone else's blessings. You were created with purpose, equipped with everything you need, and set on a path that is uniquely yours. It's time to stop looking around and start looking ahead. Stop letting distractions steal your joy. Stop allowing comparison to weaken your confidence. You have everything it takes to fulfill your destiny, your gifts, your opportunities, your journey. It's all divinely designed for you, so walk boldly. Stay in your lane. Trust that your future is full of favor, that doors will open at the right time, and that what's meant for you will find you. You don't have to chase what already has your name on it. Just keep moving forward, keep growing, and keep believing. Your best days are ahead. Your blessings are already lined up. Stay faithful, stay focused, and watch as your life unfolds in ways greater than you ever imagined.